It was all about passing more legislation to put them more into slavery.
Yeah, those so-called Jews that were down there that were helping Jake, they were doing it because they didn't know any better, man.
Right.
They taught that bullshit from their parents. Yeah, there's a lot of so-called Jews that actually think that they're decent people because they don't know the whole plan, the whole scheme of things, man. Right. So the Rothschilds are using so-called Jews against themselves, man. You know?
Right.
And then this guy don't know that there's a document where they had so-called Jews that were fighting on the side of Hitler for the Nazis, all right?
Right.
Fighting other so-called Jews. All right. His grandmother wasn't there to see that. Right.
Can I read this?
Go ahead. Just like you got, you know how stupid that is. What this guy was talking about. First of all, the United States is fighting against Iraq, right? Don't you know you got Arabs that are born in the United States that are fighting against Iraqis and killing them? So he's acting like it's all about a Jew-German thing. It's not about a Jew-German thing. Like I said, you had so-called Jews fighting in Hitler's army. They were killing other European nations, including Jews. Making it seem like anytime there's a war, you just got to take sides, man. You always had mixed nations on different sides fighting each other, man. But the reason why, you know what? He was emotional. Because he thinks he's a Jew and stuff. So you can't argue with a guy like that, you know?
Can I read this?
Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah 15:11. The Lord said, verily it shall be well with thy remnant. Verily I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction.
Yeah, that's why you got so-called Jews that treat Jake decent, man.
Right.
They'll give him a job, they'll give him a raise, they keep him happy. Even you said that, man. The so-called Jews at that place that told you to go and eat.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
They really thought they were decent guys, man.
Yeah, that's right.
And well, even you said it too, Elder Tar, when you go down to B&H.
Right. When you go down that camera place, B&H, man, on 34th Street, man, they treat you like family, man.
Yep.
They treat you right, man. And if you want to get something, let's say you want to get what do you call an SD card. Let's say the SD card is like $50. They'll say, well, you can get this. Or you can get this one that only costs $20. It's the same thing, same guarantee.
Right.
And they don't have to tell you that. And I'm ready to spend $50. So I might say, well, give me 2 of those.
Right.
So I would ask, are they as good? You have the same guarantee. And ever since I've been going down there, the stuff that I get, when they give me the better price under a different company name, I never take it back.
Right.
So you got so-called, I'm not saying making so-called Jew bigging them up, but you got decent so-called Jews, man. Yeah. But that don't mean that they're not going into slavery. We're going to say, okay, well, you were very decent. I remember you helped me at B&H, but you know what? You're going to be sitting, you're going to marry my daughter. No, we're going to have him out in the field working. That's right. Okay?
Yeah, it's all I'm going to say.
It's going to be decently working.
So-called Jews treat me a lot better than Lahab and them guys did.
That's right.
Okay.
You mean Brother Lahab? Brother Lahab?
Yeah, Brother Lahab.
Brother?
Them so-called Jews that I work for treated me a lot better than Lahab.
Hey, well, wait a minute. Scripture says, hey, well, the prophecy says, when a man's ways pleaseth the Lord, he maketh his enemies to be at peace with him. So it all goes back to the Heavenly Father. And here's another prophecy. Job 20 and Job 20 and 10. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. So that's them so-called Jews. Whenever they do anything nice for us, they're fulfilling this prophecy.
And then there's guilt too. A lot of them got guilt, man.
A lot of guilt.
You know?
You have the guilt factor too. But the thing with the point with this guy is, he wants to base his whole argument upon what his mother said. First of all, he's saying don't Google. First of all, if you weigh Google against his mother, I think Google will win.
But first of all, hold on, wait a minute. Like all of a sudden, when they bring out the truth, now the so-called Jews run Google, man.
Right,
you got a problem with them?
Yeah.
See, you devils. That's why you got. You can Google your Google argument.
Yeah.
First of all, Google give you all kind of fucking information.
That's right.
Anytime the truth comes out, you got a problem with something.
Exactly. And this is why you got all these senators passing legislation to shut down the internet. Why? Because of all the...
And who's leading that charge?
Yeah.
Fucking Lieberman, man.
Right.
Which he was a Democrat,
right.
And he changed. And they all said you are a Republican and Democrat in closing, because you used to vote. You called yourself a Democrat, but you was always a deciding vote that would go with the Republicans. So you so-called Jews are really snakes, man.
Right.
And like I said, I grew up with so-called Jews. There's a lot of so-called decent Jews out there. That's because they really believe that bullshit that the rabbi told them. You got to be good to all people.
Right.
But some of them real Jews, you got to be good to the Goyim. They're decent people too.
Right.
But them top elite so-called Jews, they don't give a fuck, man.
That's right.
Like this guy Bloomberg, man. Bloomberg don't give a fuck about the city.
About
the city is his about the Goyim.
Right.
This is his personal piggy bank, man.
That's right.
That's why he went from $5 billion to $26 fucking billion, man.
Right.
Talking about I just want to serve. He don't want to fucking serve no goddamn body, man. He want people to serve his ass, man. And then this guy, when he became mayor for the third time, which he went against term limits, which he was against when Giuliani wanted to stay in office. He said, no, you got term limits. But all of a sudden, now, there's nothing wrong with breaking term limits, man. This guy's a scum, man. Right. He's a real fucking scum.
And the elite so-called Jew, they don't give a damn about the people. The poor so-called Jew, the poor...
Yeah, like him, like that guy. He was a regular guy. He probably see a jack and give him $1 or something like that. Right. Because he don't know.
Right.
All he knows is what his fucking mother told him.
He probably won't give them $1 now. After tonight.
You probably had them late-like chats, you know? Late-like chats with Mama. Yeah. Mama gonna break.
And I grew up with this kid, Armenian kid. His father was Armenian, his mother was a so-called Jew, right?
Right.
So he was pushed on that so-called Jewish shit, right? Now she's supposed to be this. Well, she was supposedly ran from Austria because she's an Austrian Jew, and she ran from Austria to America, right? But she's a decent so-called Jew. That bitch was a fucking snob, man. She thought her fucking shit didn't stink, and that's why she divorced her husband. Which her husband was a straight-up Jake, because his grandmother used to call him, "Come here, my little nigga boy," because he looked like a Jake. He was dark as you. But he used to put grease in his hair to make it straight because he wanted to be white. Now back then I thought they were white boys. Now this dude I grew up with, when he danced just like Jake. You know? He did everything that Jake did. So later on, when I went into the Byzantine, when we learned about the Byzantine Empire, I said, well, wait a minute, this guy's a damn Jake. Right. And I was the one that told him when I came into the truth, I said, look, man, I can't talk to you no more. And why? Because you're a fucking devil, man. You know? I told him straight to his face, but really, he wasn't a devil. All his brothers acted like Jake. He acted like Jake. His father acted like Jake, but his mother was a fucking snob bitch. Devil. You know?
Devil. Snob bitch devil.
And the bitch couldn't cook either, man. I used to throw up when I used to eat that fucking food, man.
Yeah. And he said she ate them runny ass eggs.
She made them fucking runny ass eggs, and then one day we were kids. She made fucking turkey dinner, and that shit didn't have no fucking salt in the shit, man.
It's like matzahs.
Yeah, matzahs, man. Yeah, we graduated from matzahs, man. Mo and them used to have us eat them nasty ass fucking matzahs.
Proverbs 16 verse 7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. Oh, this is the other one too.
Right, that's why if these so-called Jews do anything nice for us, it's pursuant to prophecies. Right. Not because they're so decent, not because they're
and whether they treat us nice or not, they're still going into slavery. They're still going to be exterminated.
Right. Right, exactly.
Hey, this is years ago you brought this out. This is Job 11:18. And thou shalt be secure because there is hope. Yea, thou shalt dig about thee, and thou shalt take thy rest in safety. Also thou shalt lie down, and none shall make thee afraid. Yea, many shall make suit unto thee.
Yep. That's right.
And the precept says, entreat thy face. It says, but
as well.
In a nutshell, that's slavery.
It says, but the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as a giving up of the spirit of the ghost.
And like Elder Tar said, you have something called
the second chapter.
You got something called the guilt factor. Hey, these crackers, man, they're guilty, man. They know they're guilty.